That Zen life is whole health, wellness, and healing.
That Zen life is definitely recovery.
That Zen life es comunidad.
That Zen life is self-care.
I needed to change my life. I didn't want to live in fear anymore. I didn't want to worry anymore. I didn't want to live in panic or anxiety anymore. I wanted to make sure that I got back to who I really was, which was I'm happy, I'm joyful, I'm peaceful, I'm loving, I'm sassy, and I'm fun. Everybody needs somebody. Everybody needs somebody. I don't care who you are, what you're going through. When you are going through something and you're in the trenches of it, you feel like nobody else is going through what you're going through. And I promise you that is not true.
Welcome to you guys. This is your girl, Priscilla Zeno, the healing partner. Got caught with my pants down just now, but welcome. I just want to say I'm super grateful for Wellness Wednesdays here in my new location, As in Life Wellness Foundation. And if you see another face, that is one of our new peers, David Hodge. Yay! Super grateful that he's able to join us. You guys typically see David in the background, doing a lot of background stuff. But today we're going to be talking about a subject that I feel is very near and dear to my heart. And I feel as though it's a subject that that we need to talk about in order for all of us to heal. And that is, the question of why is it when we go through some form of grief or loss that, we typically don't go through the typical channels in order to get the healing that we need. And I brought David on today as a guest because David has an amazing story that I feel like a lot of folks could probably connect with. And so in sharing that story, I'm going to get David to talk a little bit about that story. And if I can first introduce David, David is, I have known David for quite some time. I met David through my son, David. And David has literally changed his life in a major way. And he has been through a major loss. And so, David, if you could just kind of share with us, what a little bit about your story and how you were able to get to this new place of healing.
Okay. Well, first off, good morning, guys. My story is definitely an odd one. It comes from, I'm sure, what everybody has done as a teenager, sneaking out the house, doing random things you didn't tell your parents about and things of that nature. But one evening while I snuck off to a party, someone that I had just started a relationship with had died at the party from a drug overdose. And it took me, and I just now recently said something about it to my family and friends. And it took me a long time to get to that point to feel comfortable talking about it. Because at the time that happened, like I remember the day I went to go say something to my parents about it was the day I found out they were getting a divorce. I was like, okay, well, maybe this isn't the best time to give mom and dad this bit of information of what happened the past weekend. And I just sat on it for years. And one of the only people I'd ever told about it before recently was Miss Zeno's son, David. And at the time that I felt like that was the only person I could confide in that would understand what I was going through at the time.
So
And
just
I
let you.
felt that way for.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm
Go
sorry.
ahead, Livia.
I had a question for you. So, you know, I know that experience of actually of having that loss and um experiencing that loss. What got you to the place? Because I think a lot of times when people experience loss and they think about loss, they think about death, of course, but they don't think about loss as you went through two losses. You went through the loss of someone that you know you were really connected with relationship wise, and then you went through a loss of losing your parents in a divorce. And some people don't see that as another form of grief. So let me ask you this. At the time when you lost sort of like your family, the idea of your family, of your mom and your dad being together, did you feel like you were also grieving at that point too?
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
and more so at first it was more so over the family situation, and the other situation kind of didn't come into play emotionally until a few months down the line.
Okay.
When I had the time to process everything.
So, so when you were, because the reason why I find it so fascinating about how we look at grief and how we look at loss and how that happens when, you know, we experience losing someone as far as, you know, in the physical sense, but we don't see loss in the sense like, you know, if someone's getting a divorce or, you know, people don't even understand sometimes that when you lose your job after working a job for a long time, that is, you can also grieve that. There's so many different ways of actually grieving. What did you do, or what is it that you did not do, or how did you get through that process?
At first, the way I was getting through it wasn't healthy. I just focused on work and school. And as a consequence of the divorce, my parents weren't afford to be able to continue to send me to private school. So then after that, I just focused on work, and that's all I thought about, and that's how I dealt with it for the time being.
Okay. If you can just move your camera a little bit out of the light. Yep, perfect. So I do agree with you that a lot of times we do typically do what we need to do with regards to trying to navigate not taking care of ourselves by throwing in a ton of different things in our lives so that we don't have to deal with the grief or the loss. Would you agree?
Yes, that's definitely what I did. I just started piling things on, so I didn't even have the time to think about it.
Yeah, because I do know that there is quite a few of us, especially the workaholics, when we don't want to deal with something, what we typically do is we work to the bone so that we don't have to deal with the situation, whether it be, again, the loss of a physical one, the loss of a job, the loss of your parents, you know, being married, and that whole idea of family. And I think one of the biggest things that we do need to understand is what the steps that need to happen. So did you ever get the steps right away, or how long did it take you to get to this place where you actually wanted to get out of your stuckness and move towards healing?
It took me a few years, actually, because I had got comfortable in the space I got myself to, just piling everything on and ignoring it. And it honestly wasn't until I read your book and the sections about superheroes superheroes aren't real and don't wear their capes all the time, or something along those lines, of when I thought of like, I don't have to wear this cape I've been wearing all the time, and I don't have to be the strong person all the time, and I can deal with my own issues that I deal with like by myself off in my room late at night.
Yeah, I know that I went through several different types of grief, and the loss and grief that I went through was I had to grieve eventually as an adult. I had to grieve the loss of my innocence when I was sexually abused. Then I had to grieve the sense of I lost a husband, and then I lost my son. And I had no sense of trying to heal myself through all of those losses. And it took me several years too to get to a place where I wanted to heal and move out of my own stuckness. So, but I know that each person handles things in a different way. And one of the reasons why I brought you on is because, one, I know that women may heal different than men. And men typically go inward and they don't talk much.
Mhm.
Is that right?
Yes. And I definitely felt that I couldn't express, especially with the persona I had with my friends and family. I didn't even feel comfortable expressing that side of myself.
Don't you think that it is so kind of like, it's just so ironic that we are so close to our families, and we are so close to even being in the house with our own parents or being in the house with our own children, but we feel so stifled in the conversation that we need to have about healing ourselves or getting better. Like, it's like not being able to go and say, hey, I'm feeling really down, or I'm feeling really depressed. Did you go through some depression? What are some of the emotions that you went through?
I went through a lot of depression, actually. A lot of depression for a long time over divorce. I was angry, and something like that, and mostly like angry at my parents, because I felt like, you guys are going through this thing, and you've always told me to be able to work. Like, you can always work something out, but now y'all can't work this out. And I started to feel as if they were like hypocrites sometimes, and they really like caused a rift between us for a few years, to where I didn't want to hear anything they had to say.
So the fact that you experienced that, I know you said that it took you a few years to get to that healing place, and I'm sure that there wasn't just one thing that you did. Can you just share with the audience maybe some of the things that you've used as tools to get to this place?
Meditation, self-reflection, getting back into finding a regular hobby for myself. And that's a really big thing, because like somebody can find a hobby and just get that sense of accomplishment from something they chose to do themselves. It does wonders.
Yeah.
Process.
Say that again.
It just does wonders in that healing process of getting it started.
Yeah.
Of like trying to find, especially for me. I might not for everybody, but for me personally, finding a hobby or regular tasks to do all the time just to get that sense of accomplishment other than work or school was definitely a big
one. Okay. So for me, I chose counseling. I really, really needed to have that outside person outside of my family that I could talk to freely and openly and share all of the angers that I had, share all of the pains that I had from all of the things that I had dealt with throughout my life. And so now it's sort of ironic that I'm in this new place now where I get to talk about healing all the time. But I do feel as though people like you, people like me, when we get to this place of actually having a conversation about loss and some of the things that we can do to heal ourselves, whether you are male or female, it doesn't matter whether you are male or female, we all handle loss and grief differently. I heard you talk about the fact that you kind of went inward, you really didn't have anybody to really talk to, and I know personally that you have a mom, a dad, and a sister. You could have went to any of those people, but you didn't. You chose to go outside of that space and talk to someone. So I want to just thank you, David, for sharing your story. We're gonna let David go, unless you have some encouraging words, David, that you'd like to share before going.
Um, Other than I just want to let people, especially the black men, know it's okay to reach out for help and to not to have it together all the time. Because no one has it together all the time as much as we feel we may need to have it together for our households and our communities and the circles we may run in. It's really important to reach out for somebody and get help if you feel you need help.
Yes, absolutely. And also too, for those of you who David, I'm grateful that the book helped you. And I'm gonna do a quick plug. Of the book. Gotta do a quick plug of the book. I Am Healing: The 7 Secrets to Wellness and Self-Care. If you haven't gotten this book already, go cop the book. It's an amazing book in the sense that not that I wrote it, but also the fact that David, did you find when you were working, when you were kind of reading the book and you were going through the book, did you find those little spaces where it allowed you to kind of write out your feelings or kind of answer some questions to help you get a lot of the stuckness out? Did you find those sections helpful?
Yes, those little sections and little work pages helped a lot.
Good. Well, I'm encouraging those to go to Amazon, go to BarnesandNobles.com, go to Walmart, go to Target.com. The book is in all of those places. We're in the midst right now of putting together some workbooks so that we can offer them to transition homes, to community service boards, to hospitals, and to any of the other establishments that are helping people with a life change. Listen, guys, you do not have to go through this book is for anyone who is looking to come out of their stuckness from divorce, grief from losing a child or losing a best friend or losing a mom or a dad, any type of traumatic experiences, you know what I'm saying, sexual abuse, domestic abuse, all of those things. So if you are looking for that type of change, 2 things that I want to share with you. The first thing is, come check us out here at the That Zen Life Wellness Foundation Facebook page, where we will be going live every single Wednesday, Wellness Wednesday at 8:30 a.m. I'm your girl, Priscilla Zeno, the healing partner. That's David. David. And David also is a volunteer for and an intern here at That Zen Life Wellness Foundation. And we're so grateful that you guys joined us this morning. And for those of you who would like to continue to have this conversation on how we can heal ourselves and you'd like to get more tips, tonight, David will be joining me during our support group at 7 p.m. If you're interested, all you have to do is just put a comment in below to say, add me, and we will contact you via Messenger and send you the Zoom link so that you could be a part of the additional conversation about healing through your stuckness from grief or any type of loss, no matter what it is. I just want to say thank you so much, David, again for joining us. Be well, guys. Rock on, and most importantly, fill your life. Feel the negative spaces with positively every single thing that you need. This is your girl, Priscilla Zeno, the healing partner, signing out. Thanks for joining us. Thank you, David. I appreciate you. All right. See you later. Bye-bye.